My research project is entitled Protecting the Trees, Wood Classification Through Machine Learning. Across the globe, there are around 60,000 species of trees happily standing in whichever forest they call home. Some of these species are endangered, such as the quiver tree, and some are not, such as the pine tree. It's incredibly easy to tell the difference between these two species when the trees are standing, but once they are cut down and turned into timber, they look nearly identical. It is illegal to chop down endangered species of trees, yet many, regrettably, are cut down and sold worldwide. Because it is so difficult to determine the species of a tree from looking at timber, endangered species are easily mislabeled, and these illegal importations are hardly identified in ports around the globe. Currently, there are two solutions for identifying the species of wood. There are a handful of highly specialized scientists in the world that can easily distinguish between tree species, but utilizing them to check each import would be expensive and impractical. Alternatively, the species of wood can be determined through DNA testing, but this method requires samples to be sent to a lab, and the amount of time required for accurate test results makes this method infeasible as well. Our hope is to use machine learning techniques to classify wood in a quick and inexpensive way. The Xylotron is a low-cost field microscope developed specifically for this project that takes a highly magnified image of the cellular structure of wood, which we refer to as texture patterns. The cornerstone of this project is the idea that each species of tree has a unique texture pattern. The Forest Service Research and Development Laboratory at the U.S. Department of Agriculture developed the Xylotron and used it to create an annotated database of images from various species. Ideally, a Xylotron can be present everywhere that wood is imported, and when combined with my algorithm, imports can be quickly identified by species and classified as endangered or not. The algorithm used to classify images is my primary contribution to this project, as I was responsible for designing, implementing, and testing it. Since each species has a unique texture pattern, it seemed logical to classify them by image features such as average red, green, and blue color values, size and shape of blobs, orientation of fibers, and wavelet coefficients, to name a few. In order to extract several of these features, the image must first be binarized, or converted into a matrix of zeros and ones based on a specific threshold. These images are from the same texture pattern, binarized with 3 different thresholds, so it is clear that features will vary greatly depending on the provided threshold. 2 different texture patterns, when binarized at the same threshold, may obscure or highlight certain features. This makes comparing and classifying incredibly erroneous. To create a robust solution, features are extracted across 10 different thresholds and stored in a matrix for each texture pattern. Thus, each row of the matrix represents a feature, and each column represents a threshold. In this way, a dictionary of matrices is built from each texture pattern in the database. Next, features are extracted from a test image in the same way, an image that is presumably taken from the field, from timber that is to be imported. In order to determine the species of the field image, we compare its feature matrix to those in the dictionary. We first find a pair of columns between the dictionary image and the field image that are the most similar, so that we are comparing the images at an ideal threshold. For example, the last column in A and the first column in the field image are the most similar, with only one difference. The same goes for C. The first column of B and the last column of the field image have 0 differences. Once the pairs are established, the pair with the fewest differences defines the species of the field image. In our example, this would be species B. At this stage, this algorithm is able to identify the species of a field image with an average accuracy of 84.7%, with some tests reaching up to 100% accuracy. These results far surpass most similar solutions. In the future, I hope to implement more features with the goal of making this algorithm even more effective. There are several challenges with our project, the first of which being database composition. Theoretically, an ideal solution for this project would be the use of neural networks. However, our dataset includes several images for more common species, like pine, but only has a few images for more endangered species, like the quiver tree. As such, our dataset is incredibly biased, and neural nets are ill-suited for this situation. Another challenge is that not all of our texture patterns are perfect, as shown by this sample, which has a large nail in it. To accommodate this, the feature extraction techniques used had to be incredibly robust so that such imperfections did not skew our results. The biggest challenge that our solution faces is the fact that the texture patterns for different species are sometimes incredibly similar. As this solution is based on the fact that each texture pattern is unique, I had to ensure that the feature extraction method was fine-tuned to focus on the intricate details of the images. By successfully implementing this algorithm in the Xylotron worldwide, we will be able to prevent the illegal importation of endangered species of trees. When these trees can no longer be imported, there should be a dramatic reduction in unlawful deforestation. By preventing these trees from being cut down, these endangered species can be saved, which is incredibly important for preserving biodiversity and protecting native habitats. Also important is the impact that these species may have on future scientific discoveries, especially in the field of medicine. In conclusion, I was able to create an effective machine learning algorithm for classifying wood by species that will hopefully be implemented in importation hubs across the globe to protect endangered species of trees.